Yeah, Marissa, you may have to start off presenting ES.
Yep, no problem.
Hi, everyone. Congratulations on your acceptance to UC Davis. Thank you for taking the time to attend this webinar today. Before we get started, I wanted to go over a few housekeeping items. You'll probably want to play around with Zoom. So first, you should know that as attendees, your video is off and you're muted. Please use the Q&A function to ask questions. This will help us keep a record of the questions asked. We have advising staff working behind the scenes to answer your questions. And just so you know, attendees may see the questions and answers, but you can ask questions anonymously if you prefer. This webinar is recorded so you can access it at a later date if needed. So the Zoom webinar platform has 3 features that I would like to point out. The Q&A function. Use this for questions. This will help us manage questions as they come in. You can ask questions anonymously, otherwise others can see your name attached to your question. Zoom has a chat function. You may use this to address questions privately. We appreciate your patience and our response time. Chatting is not available between participants. You might notice a raise hand function. We will not use this function for this webinar. Please use the Q&A function to ask questions. And I'll repeat some of these reminders as the webinar is needed. I am getting reported that the audio is pretty iffy. I'm not sure how to fix that.
Melissa? Melissa's Will. It could be just me, but your voice is very choppy.
Yes, I'm getting that from most of the chat. I apologize for that. I am not sure how to fix that problem.
It looks like it's fixed now.
Okay. Starting over. Hi, everybody. Sorry that my audio wasn't good before. So welcome and congratulations on being accepted to UC Davis. You'll want to use the Q&A function to ask questions. Zoom webinar has 3 features that I would like to point out. The Q&A function. Okay.
Chopping up again.
I can try it. You want me to try it?
Yes.
Okay, I'll see how I go. Okay. Hello, everyone. This Zoom webinar platform has 3 features I would like to point out. Q&A functions. Use this for questions. This will help us manage questions as they come in. You can ask questions anonymously. Otherwise, other attendees may see your name attached to your question. Zoom has a chat function. We may use this to address questions privately. We appreciate your patience and our response time. Chatting is not available between participants. You might notice a raise hand function. We will not use this function for this webinar. Please use the Q&A function to ask questions. I'll repeat some of these as reminders during the webinar as needed. Okay, a fun question. Can everybody or some of you type in what your favorite animal is? Are you a cat person or a dog person? I'll give you a little bit of time. Okay, let's see.
Here's an answer.
Hey, hey, Marissa. Oh, good on you. Okay. Oh, goodness. We are
I like the elephant seal.
Dogs, largemouth bass. Okay. Elephant seal. Nice. Dogs seem to be winning. Okay. Hummingbird, mean ponies, unicorns. Okay. Hummingbird. Okay. What's your puppy's name, Marissa? Okay.
This is Jacques Cousteau, and he comes in sometimes. So you guys will eventually someday get to meet him.
Okay. All right. Now, the focus of today's webinar is to help you get acclimated to the college and to your major. We will also be sharing information on planning your first quarter and how to get ready for your advising appointment this summer. The content today should take about 30 minutes, and we will save time at the end to answer some questions live as well. I would encourage you to have a pen and paper to take any notes that you would find helpful. To make sure you all know how to use the Q&A function, please share with us where you are currently watching this webinar from. Home. Phone. Clear Lake. Hey, Will. Santa Barbara. Singapore. Okay. Los Altos, Orange County, Roanoke Park, Chico. Okay. All right. Okay. Before we start the webinar, we would like to take a moment to introduce ourselves. My name is Nicole Brooks. I'm the I'm the major advisor for environmental science and management, M through Z, hydrology, atmospheric science, and sustainable agriculture and food systems. I like to read, I like to study languages, and I like to sing duets with my peer advisors.
Okay, I'm going to try again. My name is Melissa Whaley. I am the undergraduate advisor for environmental policy analysis and planning and environmental science and management, last name Sequel. I love Bob Burgers, I love Metallica, and I love working out at the gym.
Hi, everyone. My name is Alina Barra. I'm one of the 9 academic advisors in the Dean's Office. The Dean's Office supports students with any questions you may have, so please stop by and say hi. Fun facts about me: I'm originally from Transylvania, Romania. I love to travel. I love photography, and I'm a crazy FC Barcelona soccer fan who travels to Spain to see a game each year. Thank you all for being here with us today. We're very excited to join us. Also with us behind the scenes is my colleague Danielle Huddleston, who's going to answer some of your questions and make sure everything runs smoothly today. And then we're also very happy that your faculty advisors are also with us, and you're going to get to meet them very soon. So welcome. We're going to start our presentation today with introduction to your network of support. Danielle, if you can slide the slide. So we want you to know that you're not alone in navigating college life. As a student in College of Ag, you have a wide network of support, which includes major, dean's office, faculty, and peer advisors. The major advisors can help you with major specific questions like what class should I be taking, course scheduling, how do I get involved in the major, and much more. You also have dean's office advisors who can help you explore different majors, answer questions about college and university requirements, general education, and any other general questions you might have. We all work together to connect you with campus resources and helping you get involved with clubs and opportunities in the college. And towards the end of the presentation, we're gonna go over a few of this. You may also work with faculty advisors in your major who are experienced professors. They can help you tailor your major to your interest, talk to you about research opportunities and job related to your major. You can meet with your faculty during their office hours, even if you don't have class related questions. You can ask about their interests, field of study and research. And by doing this, you get to know the faculty a little bit better and they get to meet you also. The peer advisors are current students in your major and can give you the student experience as they all have been in your shoes before. So as you can see from the slide, we all work together. We have lots of support. We don't expect you to do this alone. We're all here to help you navigate your academic career. So please don't be afraid to ask any questions as you begin your journey at Davis. Now I'm gonna pass it to Nicole as we're gonna move on to specific information about your majors.
We have some of the top environmental majors in the world here at UC Davis. If you're looking to save the world, you're in the right place. Erwin Monnier is here to go over the atmospheric science major.
Hey, Nicole, I don't see Dr. Monnier logged in.
Okay. Terry Nathan, can you take
can you
the
hear me?
atmospheric science? Yeah, I can hear you.
Getting reverberations, it's really hard to hear.
Oh my, okay.
I don't know, this is the first time this has happened, but maybe we can come back to the atmospheric science if I can resolve this.
Okay.
You might have, Terry, you might have two things on, logged in at the same time.
Oh, maybe. I don't know how to. I'm going to re-enter. I'm going to leave and then come back.
Okay. We'll go to Malika Noko is here to go over the hydrology major.
Hello. Not sure. Can all of you see me, or am I just a voice?
No, we'll see you.
Oh, okay, excellent. Well, I just really want to welcome all of you to UC Davis and to the College of Ag and Environmental Sciences, and just say thank you to you. You're some of the most intriguing students who are going to be starting in this area already. And I don't think this is supposed to be competitive, but I'm going to make it competitive. I would love for you to study water. And there are just so many options for you if you go in this direction, and water just touches all of our lives in so many different ways. And we can really think about it by scale. Like, we need to know so much about water, you know, in terms of farmers, in terms of urban city water use, working with people, working with humans. There's this human element that connects at every single level. There's a policy and legal element that connects at different levels, the levels of cities, the levels of states, the levels of countries, and the levels of the world. We need clean water. We need access to water. We need water for agriculture. we need to figure out how to speed water up, how to slow it down, how to move it all around. There's just so many questions that we need your help answering, and challenges that we have in our society that you can help us address if you study water. And I really would love to see some of you choose this path. I myself study soil, plant, and water relations. So I actually study soil and plants as well. So I think that there are several connections and opportunities if you study water to study other creatures, other organisms at the same time. In terms of jobs, there are jobs that are kind of more traditional that you think of, like hydrologist positions, positions in government, positions, you know, as a scientist. But then there are new positions that are happening because we as a society are realizing that we have to change the way that we manage water. So, you know, this field is rapidly shifting in terms of the types of jobs that we're going to see. But some examples are working for counties, working for water districts, working for cities, you know, working for farms. There's also a pretty strong private and consulting industry with water, and also like NGOs or non-governmental agencies like the Nature Conservancy or American Rivers. And then there's several just water associations at a lot of different levels to study water. So I really hope that some of you choose this path. Feel free to check out what a water scientist does. I'm an extension. I'm also going to put in the chat here if you want to learn. I don't study fish, but yes, obviously, if you study water, you can also study fish. But I'm putting in the chat a link to a podcast that we just started during COVID times about California water. And in this podcast, we just interview different experts in water throughout the state. So it's a great way to just get a feel for what water problems are out there and just kind of check out this field. So I think that's my 3 to 5 minutes. And once again, thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing Ag and Environmental Science, and go get it.
I assume everybody can hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great, I think I fixed the problem. Anyway, hello everybody out there. I'm Terry Nathan. I'm a co-master advisor for the Environmental Science and Management major, and that'll be talked about in a little bit by Marissa. But since Erwin Monnier, our track advisor, is not here for atmospheric science, I'll talk about that since I am also in the atmospheric science program. So from my biased perspective, I think it's the most exciting track or major that one could get involved with. All you have to do is listen to the TV, radio, read newspapers, and the weather is in the news constantly, and for good reason. We have storms, we have changes to our environment, of course, global environmental change, global climate change are really important things that are confronting society today, and it's through the science that hopefully will make headroads on that. So the major has a number of different options, in a sense, in atmospheric science. No matter what your interest is in science, you can study it within the field. And among those areas are atmospheric dynamics, that is the motions of the atmosphere, why the wind blows, of course, with lots of equations. There is cloud physics. Clouds are something that are incredibly complicated, but are important to the climate system. We have biometeorology, where we look at the atmosphere and its interaction with the biosphere. We have some top people working on that. We have, of course, climate modeling, an important part of today's scientific endeavors, addressing some of the major issues that are confronting society. And so it's an area that, field that really allows somebody to choose a particular focus within that major and provides many opportunities. The major itself is built on mathematics and physics and chemistry. And that's important during the first 2 years to build up that background to move forward then into the key upper division classes for the major. But before going into the upper division classes, there are a number of classes at the freshman level and sophomore level where you can get involved with the field. So you don't have to wait so long to see what atmospheric science is all about. We have courses in the GE category, dealing with air quality, dealing with severe and unusual weather, and also with climate. So there are many opportunities to get your feet wet, so to speak, with atmospheric science, starting out as a freshman, and then of course building from there. So a great major, confronting many of the challenges that we have today in the environment, and it's a very exciting major with many job opportunities that range from the federal government to private industry to private firms looking at environmental issues. In fact, one person who graduated from a program a number of years ago is now the president and head of environmental, it's Sonoma Technology, which is a firm that examines environmental issues, and anybody with an atmospheric science major will have opportunities in firms like that also. Of course, the state has a lot of opportunities for people studying air quality, another important aspect of our program. So that's atmospheric science in a nutshell. So if anybody has questions, they're often encouraged to send me an email, or Marnier, and anybody else within the program, we'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you, Terry.
Okay.
Next, we have Will Horwath, who will go over sustainable agriculture and food systems.
Sorry, unmute myself. So the slide's not right. I just got a call and I have to go to a meeting at 3:30. So I asked Nicole if I could come out of order. And so this is the Sustainable Agriculture Food Systems major. It is a major that was envisioned about 15 years ago as a direction that we needed to go into college. And as a result, one of the first undergraduate majors in the world to deal in this subject is here at UC Davis. We constantly get inquiries from other universities and how on the success of our major here. So our major is to deal with sustainable food production from all aspects, the environmental aspect, the social aspect, and the economic aspects. So there are 3 tracks, and those are those tracks. I am the master advisor for the major, and I'm also the track advisor for the agroecology or the environment section or track. And then Ryan Gold from human ecology is for sociology, and then Tom Tomich is the economics track advisor. So this major is pretty multifaceted. It looks at all areas of food production, all the way from actually growing the crops to processing it, to understanding dietary and nutritional aspects, and how social things like social justice are involved in our food system. And then the economics folks, of course, are looking at the costs and everything like that. So this major has a large experiential component to it. Now, we started off first with a 12-unit requirement for internships, but and we were hoping that would be an experimental or an experiential part of this, but that turned out to be some of the challenge, and so we had to reduce that to 8. That's still about 8 times more than many other majors have in our college. So as I said, if you're interested in understanding sort of the more basic parts of agroecosystems, or the agroecology part, the environmental part, you would go in, that track would be for you. If you're interested in the social aspects and social justice and all the things like from farm workers to how nutrition programs work at schools and things like that, and how communities deal with food, then you would pick track 2. And of course, then economics, you would pick track 3 if you're interested in understanding how food production, the economics of food production. So agriculture is a big deal, right? In any country. And so even in California, it's a $50 billion industry just at the farm gate. And so that's a huge industry. And you just imagine how many people are employed and involved at all levels. And this major begins to touch on that. And so the major was designed to ensure that you learn all these things no matter what track you take, but it also is designed that if you want to go on in your education, get a master's degree or eventually PhD, it would be a great starting point to do that. So again, the major has a large experiential component to it. The state, there's many opportunities for internships. The state has, for example, a huge program in soil health. And so that's a large component of sustainable agriculture. And so many projects come to our faculty, and they need students to work in the labs on issues about soil health. And then there's many internships on farm, and we're close to Sacramento. And so there are many internships in state government. Yeah, so that's from the social and economic tracks would be involved in that. And so the major is pretty inclusive and exclusive in that it touches on most areas, or not all, if not all areas of agricultural production. And so everything from germinating those seeds to grow a crop, to how it affects folks, as far as farm workers and social justice, to nutrition, and then the economics, what value that we get from our agricultural management systems. So I encourage you to get a hold of me or get a hold of the other track advisors. They're all esteemed scientists in their own right, Ryan Galt and Tom Tomich. And so I would hope that you might want to consider this major. It's very flexible. And so we hope to see you here and choose us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Will.
So I might have to get off, so thanks. So if anybody has any questions, just go ahead and go through Nicole or directly to me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Will.
All
Gwen
right.
Arnold is here to go over the environmental policy and planning major.
Sorry about that. Okay, so I am Gwen Arnold. I am the Master Advisor for Environmental Policy, Analysis, and Planning. I myself am a professor of environmental policy, and most of what I study is how we manage high volume hydraulic fracturing, which some of you may have heard about, typically known as fracking. Okay, so what would you do if you studied environmental policy, analysis, and planning, or EPAP, or why would you want to study this? Essentially, if you are concerned with the choices that communities are making about the environment and the choices that decision makers are making about the environment, and if you want to influence those choices, if you want to shape those choices from inside the system, perhaps within government, or from outside the system as an advocate, perhaps working for a nonprofit, or you want to shape the way in which, let's see. So this is why you should major in EPAP, if you're concerned with those choices. In terms of what you study, there's a whole range. Of course, you take sort of basic preparatory classes. You have to sort of understand biology. You have to understand chemistry, etc. And then when you get to the core of the EPAP courses, you're studying things like environmental law and environmental impact assessment and public lands management, water management, or water policy and management, theories about how the policy process works. How do you do policy analysis? How do you write the kinds of analyses that decision makers are going to want to look at when they're making those tough choices about what kinds of laws to pass, what kinds of regulations to adopt, what kinds of programs should get funded and which ones shouldn't, et cetera. In terms of the jobs that folks get when they come out of EPAP, because this is a very frequent question, if I study this, what kind of job will I be doing? What kind of job can I get? I've seen folks go into a lot of different paths. If I just think of students who have graduated in recent years, I will say, first of all, I hear from folks and they are getting jobs. Despite the world that we are living in, people are still getting jobs, which is something really great to see. I see folks going into land use planning at the city level, at the county level. I see folks working for state and federal agencies. I can think of off the top of my head at least 3 or 4 folks who are working at Caltrans. I see folks going into environmental consulting. I see them working for the state. Maybe they're working in the legislative analyst office. Maybe they're working as a legislative aide. They're working in the governor's office. I see them working for nonprofits, going into environmental consulting. But the take-home message is this: if you want to shape how the system works, if you want to shape the laws, rules, and regulations, if you want to influence those, if you want to try to make them better, EPAP is a path that can allow you to do that, that can allow you to gain the skills and resources and strategies that will help you make that system level impact. I think that's what I got, but I'm going to stick around. I'm going to fix whatever's going on with my monitor, but then I'm going to stick around for the questions in case you would like to ask those later. Okay, that's what I got.
Thanks, Gwen. Marissa Baskett is here to go over the Environmental Science and Management major with Terry Nathan.
Thank you so much, Nicole. And yeah, so I am co-master advisor of environmental science and management along with Terry Nathan, who you guys heard from before. And the environmental sciences is a really broad umbrella term. And so we look with this major to balance breadth and depth. You start off by taking classes an array of sciences that support the environmental sciences. That's ecology, that's hydrology, that's atmospheric science, that's geology, that's the social science that Gwen was just talking about, the political science and economics that puts it in the policy context. So you gain that breadth, but then you choose a specialization or a track to give you depth that complements it. We have, for example, a track in ecology, biodiversity, and conservation. So if preservation of biodiversity is the issue that drives you, that's your track. We have watershed science. We have climate change and air quality. We have soil science and biogeochemistry. We have what's called the natural resource management track, which is probably the most balanced between all the kind of the natural sciences, right? The ecology, geology, hydrology, atmospheric science, the kind of how the earth works sciences, and the social sciences, how the people side works, like political science and economics and sociology. And then we have a track in what's called GIS, which is how you use data over space to inform how we do all of this different kind of management. And we're actually in the process of converting that to an environmental data science track. So we really seek to balance this breadth and depth. The ecology, biodiversity, conservation track happens to be the track that's my specialty. I work in coral reefs, like this picture I took from the Great Barrier Reef behind me, and kelp forests, to try and understand how different management approaches might help increase their ability to withstand future climate change. But you see all sorts of topics reflected in the fact that we have two master advisors, one from ecology and one from atmospheric science in this major. The types of jobs that students get, just like all the other tracks, you have government agency, or the other majors you've heard from, you have government agency jobs, and those can be local level, say working for a county, state level, somewhere like Cal Fish and Wildlife or Air or Water Resources Board, or national level like Environmental Protection Agency or National Park Service, right? You have your NGO jobs, and again, those can be local, regional, national, international NGOs. We see students, a lot of our students go into environmental consulting and working with private industry to improve the sustainability of their practices and having a huge impact through those activities. And we see students going into education, right? That can be K through 12 education, bringing environmental education into our elementary schools, for example, up through working at colleges and universities, or working with citizen science programs to engage people in the environmental sciences and use and broaden our data sets and participation. And all of the fields that you've heard about, if you look at the data over 10 to 20 years, these are all growth fields that you do see jobs growing and they're ranked high in terms of the job growth fields, and that applies to all of the majors that you heard about today. So like when I will stick around for the full time if people have questions, and keep my eye on the chat as well. And welcome and congratulations, everybody. We really look forward to working with you.
Hi, everyone. So now that you learned a little bit about your major, in the next few slides, we're going to go over major-specific sample schedules for fall. These are recommended schedules, so don't worry if you don't get in all your planned classes. Everything you take in fall will count for something, such as general education, major requirements, or unit towards graduation. Each student will have a unique circumstance, and you will meet with your major advisor to create your schedules starting next week. We suggest creating 3 to 4 different schedules, so when registration time comes around, you are ready to go rather than scramble for classes last minute. We highly recommend that you register for the Career Discovery Group. I will go over more details about the program soon. You can also enroll in first-year seminars. These are 1 to 2 classes to complement your first quarter schedule at Davis. We recommend that you take anywhere between 14 to 16 units in your first quarter Davis, definitely no more than 16 units. For transfer students, your situation is unique as each of you are transferring courses from community colleges and different institutions. We will meet with you during summer to evaluate your transfer work and to create specific academic plans for you. I'm gonna go to Nicole now so she can go over the sample study plans for the majors.
Okay, for atmospheric science, we're going to let KT talk about fall courses.
Hi, can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. I had a little audio problem. Let me just turn this part off. Okay. So we have some required courses for the ATM major. Chemistry is really important because of things like global climate change and atmospheric chemistry, air pollution. So it's good to have some chemistry background. And then we have math. Math is a very important concept that's within atmospheric science. So Math 21A is a calculus, the first calculus course to take. And then some fun classes for ATM or things like GE classes. That's ATM 5, for example, is being offered, or you can choose some other fun class. You're in a great school, one of the best in the world. Congratulations for getting in here, by the way. So ATM 5, for example, will give you some idea of climate change issues. There are a lot of other fun classes. There's ATM 10 in the winter, but that's the second quarter. There's a bunch of GE classes and discovery group first year seminars you might be interested in too. UC Davis is fantastic for having a wide diversity of these classes. And probably keep your units down to around 13 to 16, maybe 14 if you want, but don't try and super take 1,000 units or something like that. And I think that's about it for ATM. Is that correct, Nicole? And I'll put a little thing on the chat. I'll send my email so that you have my email and be able to ask me any questions. I look at my email quite often, so I should respond to you pretty quickly.
Yes, that is correct. Thank you, Chaltha. The next one is hydrology. And for hydrology fall quarter, we suggest you take chemistry 2A, math 21A, SAS 4 or other fun classes, a GE, career discovery group, or first year seminar. Total units should be about 13 to 16 units, but you really want to aim between 14 and 16 units for your first quarter. The next one is environmental policy analysis and planning.
Okay, so can everybody hear me? Is my audio working now?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So for environmental policy analysis and planning, we suggest starting out with chemistry or biology. Chem 10 is called Concept of Chemistry. You do not need a placement exam to take it. It is a little less intensive than Chem 2A, but it's still not an easy class. You also will be taking calculus. You have 3 choices, math 16, 17, or 21A. 16 is the most basic, 17 is for students in biological sciences, and 21 is the most advanced. You can do any of them. Which one you will be most excelling. Then we suggest enroll in environmental science class like Hydrology 1 or Plant 12, which is Plant Society, or Online 1, plus a GE course, and aim for 14 to 16 units for your first quarter. And then for environmental science management, we recommend starting with either biology or chemistry. It doesn't matter which one you do first year. You'll do one first year and the other second year. So if you do biology, we recommend starting with Biz 2B. I'm getting that my audio is choppy. Nicole, do you want to take over the explanation here?
Sure. If we have one more technical difficulty, I'm singing Baby Shark. That's just all to it. Okay, for environmental science and management, fall quarter classes, we recommend you take Biz 2B or Chemistry 2A, Math 16A, 17A, or 21A, Geology 1 or Geology 50, a GE, Career Discovery Group, or First Year Seminar. Also, ESM 98. ESM 98 is a course where you learn about all the different tracks, and you have different instructors for each track will come in and tell you about the different jobs you can take, what each track entails, and everything you want to know, and you can ask questions, and if you're not sure about which track you'd like to take. Total units for the quarter between 13 and 17, but we'd like you to aim for 14 to 16 units for your first quarter. Okay. Next track, Sustainable Agriculture and Food Systems. PLS 15, CRD 1, a GE, a Career Discovery Group, or First Year Seminar. CRD 20. Total units for the quarter between 13 and 15, aim for 14 and 16 units. Okay.
Hi everyone, now that you learn all about advising and how to get connected with advisors, we encourage you to get involved with the College of Ag. There are many ways to do this during your life at Davis, not just in your first year. We offer fun opportunities for new students to engage with staff and peers. Our Ag ambassadors and manners organizations give students the chance to participate in leadership activities, community service and outreach while promoting our awesome college. I highly recommend that you join Career Discovery Group. This is new students can get a head start in exploring different career paths in a small group with the guidance of a campus mentor. This is a one-year program with 1 unit for fall. We also host a lot of fun events throughout each quarter, such as study breaks when everyone gets together during finals week, and we support our students by giving out coffee, Scantron, snacks, a smile, and a pep talk before finals. Slides of Advising is an opportunity for you to connect with advisors and other students in the college in an informal way. You can eat pizza and ask lots of questions, all in great company. And then also be on a lookout for our events this fall, like Coffee with the Dean, Ice Cream Social, Study Break, and Slides of Advising. What are your next steps? So if you have not yet completed the Aggie 101 modules, please do so as soon as possible, or at least before your advising appointment with your majors. We encourage you to visit or revisit our website where you can find useful information about placement exams, how to build your first score schedule, and get ready for fall. And last but not least, don't forget to schedule an advising appointment with your major by logging into advising appointment system. If you have any questions on the last slide, you have our information. Please reach out to us with any questions you may have through summer. Due to campus being currently closed to public, email is the best way of reaching us. And also make sure you follow us on Instagram and Facebook to keep updates with events we offer throughout the year. We hope to stay in touch with you and we look forward to meeting you. This is the end of our formal presentation and we're gonna go to Q&A live questions right now. So some of the questions that we have, the most common ones is, when will we schedule a meeting with our advisor? So students can schedule appointments with their advisors after the webinars. Most of the appointments will start next week. I would say check on the webpage for your major to see when to schedule your appointment. Registration for classes start August 3rd for freshmen and August 10th for transfer students. So between now and then, you'll meet with your major advisors to create your study plans and then to look at your transfer work and talk about fall schedule. Another question, let's see, what questions do we have here? What are some good questions to ask during our advising meeting? That's a good question. So I think, you know, leaving home and being now, you know, at Davis in college life, there's so many questions students ask us. I think the one question that maybe you can ask either the peer advisors or the advisors is how it is at Davis for the first year. We are in a quarter system, so the quarter goes by really, really fast. It's only 10 weeks, so usually by the third week, you'll have your midterms exams. And only by the third week, you can't like really get a hold of like how things go and how to even bike to class, you know, and be away. So the quarter moves fast, really fast. The professors do put more on the students, you know, so a lot of it will be a different way of learning and teaching classes that you had experienced either at community college or the high school. I think the quarter moving so fast, that's the biggest adjustment students complain about when they come to Davis, is how fast everything goes. Do not be afraid to ask any questions you may have. Even if we don't know the answer to that specific question, we will know at least who to contact and who to refer you to on campus. There's a big community of advisors on campus on different levels who are here to support you. So if you have any questions, do not be afraid to ask those questions to us. Another question is, you know, is it recommended to take biology or chemistry in your first quarter as a freshman? Usually as a science major on campus, students take a chemistry class or calculus class and GE courses. We don't necessarily recommend to take bio and chem in the same quarter. So maybe biological science and then organic chemistry can be held for the second year at Davis. You try to have a balanced schedule between major courses and GE or fun electives. So then you can focus on those classes and do good in your classes and get the grades you want. There's no need to rush and pack your schedule with classes. Even as a freshman or a transfer, you will definitely stay on track and graduate, you know, on the time that you have here at Davis, either 2 years or 4 years. Let's see. Another question is for EPAP. What were the EPAP first quarter classes again? It was really difficult to be able to hear you audio. Danielle, can you maybe go back to the slide with EPAP courses? Thank you. We have a question here. Must we know our exam scores for Aggie advising, AP, and placement? You don't necessarily have to have that information, but that informs on what classes you plan on taking in fall. So if you haven't taken a placement exam for math or for chem yet, when you register for classes, you'll kind of guess which classes you can be on. So if you think you're gonna, you know, place in Chem 2A, then I would say, you know, enroll in Chem 2A. If you think you're gonna place in short calculus, math 16A or 17A or 21A, you can enroll in those. If you're not really sure about those, and if, you know, those classes are not your strong suit, maybe taking the lower, like the pre-calculus and maybe, or the workload chemistry classes will suit you well. And then with those under your belt in fall, you can move on to the next quarter to take the science classes. You don't have to have that information and your advising appointment, but it would be helpful if we do, just because then we can advise you specifically on what classes you should be taking in fall. Let's see, another question is here, do transfer students have to take placement exams? Transfer students do not need to take placement exams unless you need to take chemistry or math for your major and you have not transferred that in from the community college. Let's see. What is the workload like for the freshman first year seminars or career discovery group? So the first year seminars are on either 1 or 2 units per seminar, and the topics vary from everything under the sun. You can have, you know, witches, or you can have atmospheric science. There's all in between. There's subjects dear to heart to faculty who want to really teach the class. It's a small class, so you connect with a lot of the students in your class too. And they're just different subjects. The workload is not as intense as in a 3 to 4 unit class, basically. The career discovery group for the first fall quarter, it's a 1 unit class. You meet again with a small group of students, and you have a graduate student who's your mentor. And basically in the first quarter, you kind of like really learn much more about the campus community and all your resources on campus. Let's see.
There was one question, Alina, about who do you go, what does master advisors do and what do staff advisors do?
Yeah, do you want to answer that, Nicole?
Sure. Our master advisors, you would go to them to talk about internship opportunities, career paths, grad school, research, those types of things. You would come to me, a staff advisor, if you wanted to know about campus resources, courses, events, some of the, you know, like internship and career center, the dean's office, questions maybe about the dean's office, any type of campus resources. I could refer you to those things, but usually just, you know, courses and that sort of thing, and everything under the sun.
Yeah. Yeah, I would also add that as a student at Davis, you have at least 2 advising offices. One is going to be your major advisors, and then the other one's going to be the dean's office. So you kind of like want to connect with both offices at least once a year, just to kind of like stay on track and see what classes you need to take for graduation. Change, you know, plans change. Sometimes classes get canceled. You don't get in the classes you need to. So rather than take classes on your own, it's good to check in with your major advisor and the dean's office too, to kind of like stay on track. There's a question, who do we contact if we cannot send our transcripts on time? I would say for all students, if you have transcript questions, please make sure that you contact the undergraduate admissions office. That's where all the transcripts will be sent, and the admissions office is going to key your transcript transfer work onto UC Davis transcript. So it's undergraduate admissions. Another question we had in here was, what does ANS 1 stand for? That's an Animal Science 1 class. Each class here, Davis, has 3 letters acronyms, and I promise you'll learn them as you go through. There's a lot of acronyms we use on campus, and a lot of words that are kind of like new to everyone. And I would say, you know, when you meet with your major advisors, I think a little bit more, you know, things will click and will make a little bit more sense. And then once you register for classes too, feel free to ask us any questions through summer. You have our contact information too. And hopefully as you go through Aggie 101, the modules, this webinar, and meeting with your major advisors too, all the things will come together and you kind of like see the big pictures for fall. There's a question here, will AP courses give us credit? So AP units do count towards graduation. So a student Davis has to complete 180 units to graduate. So if you bring 20 units of AP, then you will need only 160 units to graduate. AP units do not count towards general education, but they do count as units towards total units towards graduation. Let's see, what other questions do we have? Danielle, do you see any other questions that I missed?
Hi everyone, I'm Danielle behind the scenes. I see a couple of questions just about AP scores and then also about SAT subject test scores. So SAT subject test scores do not count for course credit or for units. And then as far as your AP scores being released on July 15th, which is the same day that they're doing my admissions, I would say make your best effort to submit them as early as possible to meet that deadline. But I'm sure that admissions will also be in communication. So just be sure to be checking back for more communication in your My Admissions portal.
There are a few questions about placement exams. I would say I would encourage you to go on our website. We post a lot of information for all the placement exams that they're available at Davis. I'm gonna post the link to our website in the chat for everyone. to have in case you haven't visited our website yet. So here's the website for our college. So you can go ahead and visit our website. There's specific dates and times when you can take the placement exams. And if you missed the deadlines already in the past times, there's also, there'll be another route when fall quarter starts. Usually within the first week of fall quarter, there'll be placement exams again for Chem and Math. So you can take them. You can register for classes even if you don't have the placement exam, but you will have to have the placement scores in place by when school starts to be able to stay in chemistry and math, basically. There's questions about IB courses. Same with IB is similar with AP. Depending on what scores you have, you get credits for classes and you get credits units for graduation, but those units do not count for general education at Davis. And then I would just mention again, you know, looking on the website to your specific major when you can meet with your major advisors and schedule appointment. And then once you meet with them throughout summer, you will go over a lot of your questions. It's going to be a one-on-one appointment. And then you'll also cover the major classes, do maybe 2 or 3 sample plans just so you're ready when registration starts for fall. We're running out of time, so I want to thank you all for joining us. We apologize for the technological difficulties we had. Please stay in contact with us. Send us emails. We will do our best to contact with you and stay in touch. And then hopefully we'll meet you in fall, or if not in January when we go back to campus. So take good care of yourselves. Stay healthy, stay involved, and then stay in touch with us also. Bye, everyone.